UvaldeRadio.net. Hey, good evening, and welcome to Friday Night Live. We are at Broadway 830, 100 East Main Street, downtown Uvalde. Once again, if you are in Uvalde proper or just in the surrounding areas, Uvalde County, you still got time to get on down here and see some great live music on the Broadway 830 outdoor patio. We have got our good buddy, man, it's always good to have Chuck Wimer back in town. Chuck Wimer's here. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, man?
I'm excited because you are here, sans wife, sans manager. You're like...
It's really... nerve-wracking.
Like who let the dogs out, right? Come on now.
I got to handle sound. I got to handle playing the music.
I see there's no merch table up. That's not something that normally, Jamie takes care of.
It's in the van.
Everything's in the van. I'll have my voice in the van.
Yeah, I thought about setting it up, but I figured tonight I'm just gonna put on a show.
Just do it, just
let people enjoy it, and then she can yell at me later.
I've got my merch, man. I've got my new dive, my Chuck Weimer dive bar koozie. Thank you very much for popping this in the mail for me. It's good stuff, and I didn't have to pay any postage.
Thank God.
Apparently that's a thing, according to JB Cloud and other DJs.
Turns out it is. Kind of funny. So for JB, I guess the address that it needed to go to needed to be forwarded to that address. Which
I think are you guys the ones it happened to?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Really? Okay.
So I
guess I really didn't know that.
I guess it needed to go like another 5 miles down the road. Instead, they sent it back to us. And then Jamie had to pay 16 cents, and then they sent it back out.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, so,
post office. What you gonna do?
Yeah, that's what happens when the government's in charge.
But hold on now. Hold on now. Did JB have to pay anything too?
No,
he didn't. So
he just said, we ain't paying nothing. You can go ahead and send it back.
Man, I'm sorry. I would pay it just out of curiosity.
We've got a number of those back, though. It was, Thomas Wright. Thomas came back as a return to sender, no such number, no such name, whatever.
Return to sender. All right. Well, that's because Thomas is the king.
And then Casey Ingleby down in Mason. Hers came back, too, but I think that's because she just moved over to the funeral home, and they just put their radio station over there, which is actually pretty cool.
That is really cool. We've sent out promotional items too, and your mailing list will change quicker than you can adjust them. So we as at Uvalde Radio, we have a pretty good habit of sending out thank you cards and to our mostly to our sponsors, advertisers.
Yeah,
they kind of go the extra mile, and they come back. I would say 10% of the time. Sometimes and they're here local. You would think that it would just be all good, but it's part of the business, I guess. But.
Yeah, we usually don't have them returned. Jamie does a really good job of tracking down addresses. We got some.
Mine came. It's good.
We got some that come back, but very, very rare. And then this time, when JB got back to us, and he's like, "Yeah, they wanted to charge me the postage," and I was like, "Oh." And then Jamie was really messed up about that. She's like, "All these stations that have never played your stuff." That are thinking, they've been considering because they've been seeing more action, and then now they're going to get this thing that says that they have to pay money to have your promo kit. Wait a minute.
No, she don't internalize that too much, Jamie. It's all good. Yeah. These things happen. I think I've sent something once that didn't have enough postage, but I think that it went out. I think the post person was fine. I don't know. It's a little thing, but again, the important koozie landed in the right place.
It did.
Here in Uvalde, and now it is cradling my cold beer.
Yeah,
so,
I need to tell Jamie she's going to have to do the skinny ones for dive bar as well, because those Michelob Ultras.
It's a little baggy.
Yeah.
He looks, but it's all right. Normally, I drink the regular size ones. I don't usually do Mick Ultras, so it's all right. It was blue, and it matches the vibe of the koozie, so I'm good with it.
And usually, she makes those too, right?
Usually, I'm a short, squatty, silver bullet kind of guy. So
yeah. But she makes the koozies at home. So
that's all, no way.
Yeah, she's got herself one of those sublimation printers that she can put whatever she wants in there. So my producer, Mac Damon over at Stone Creek Sound, he's the one that designed the sign, and he's the one that made that image, which he actually took like 4 or 5 different bar signs and mixed them all together so that there wasn't enough individuality, because couldn't find anything that was free for use to be able to put on merchandise and stuff.
You know what? I am a big fan. Anybody that listens to UvaldeRadio.net knows that we have our album art game on. So especially internet radio stations, you'll find many that just kind of have a generic space holder for like album art.
Right.
We're like so meticulous and crazy like about it, and anytime I get good album art from any artist, it just makes me so happy. When Dive Bar came across my desk, and I was like, first of all, the song's great.
Thank you.
But when you get cool album art along with it too, I just love just putting that little ping or JPEG, in the system and going, that's going to look good in the app, bro.
Yeah.
so yeah.
This one was really cool. This is I wrote it with Thomas Jones, my lead guitar player, and Mac Damon. So the three of us, we got together. We put this one together. The song originally started off as Bonfire.
Yeah.
And then my dad basically told me that was kind of low hanging fruit. It sounded a little too Nashville-y, and he didn't want to play it. That was back when he was still in the band. So we kicked him out. No. I need a bunch of yes men. No, so he ended up, he was going to go ride around for a while, so I needed to find a new lead player. We brought Thomas in, and when we were up in Odessa, we were playing a couple shows out in Odessa and Midland, and we were at the hotel room, and me and Thomas sat down and said, you know what, let's just go ahead and rewrite that song now. And, Kim and Stacy twerking didn't make it into the cut. We tried so hard to get that in there. It didn't make it. And
maybe that could be like the extra verse like Garth Brooks did.
Right.
You just do that at the live shows, right?
I might have to do that.
You need to work that in. Yeah, that'd be great. And there'll be a live version floating around somewhere with good quality that the crazy radio people like me can kind of pirate and put in there as a little extra, a little deep cut there. That'd be nice. Yeah.
So we now we're just trying to elevate that one like we do
because ladies do also twerk in dive bars.
They do,
not just at bonfires.
I've had the female bartending staff was twerking up at Dusty Saddle one time. I think matter of fact it was the first time that I ever played out there, and I don't know. I think it was a Hank Williams song, and they were twerking on the bar, and I was like, what the heck?
Remember those dark days when Coyote Ugly was a big thing?
Yeah,
those were dark days, weren't they? Like for all of a sudden overnight, like trashy women on top of bars became like. I mean, you got a movie with like 4 really hot girls. But that did not translate into real life.
It didn't,
as well as it could have.
That's not how it played out. And you'd go out to the bar and it's like, okay, I'm gonna need some whiskey to make this one work.
The whiskey glasses post show, man. That's good stuff. Well, the song is great, and I'm glad the rewrite went in the right direction.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So and now how this has been steadily climbing up. You're already like what, top 50 in like 4 or 5 weeks?
I think we're top 50 on TCMC and on the T3R.
Yeah.
And I saw you got the American Country Music chart as well. We actually went back on that one. We went from I guess we were 33 last week. I didn't realize it. We're at 40. So
interesting.
Well, yeah, that was
that's a new chart. I mean, it still needs. It's probably got a lot of like.
I thought it would have took longer to move up on that one because you're mixing in not just Texas, right?
They got other stuff, and they've got some more Americana feel stuff in there too as well.
Not. So
interesting.
But yeah, we're slowly moving up. We're happy with how Dave Smith is doing a great job with promoting the singles. This is the second one we did with him, or that we're doing with him. So. We're gonna stick with him for a little bit and see how.
Now, is this record got a little bit? Is it a little faster rise than your last one, or is it on pace, or
have
you compared?
We were talking. Jamie's in the mountain right now, so I have no way of knowing.
The brain knows all. Hey, Jamie. Hopefully, she's listening out there too.
But she's got the data sheets and everything up with her.
Lost without you.
I am. There's gonna be a song.
You have your son here, though, right?
I do.
On the road. Yeah. That's kind of cool. So how are you making? First of all, for those who don't know, Chuck's done so many interviews, I kind of just skip over stuff. But, Chuck, we talk about Jamie, that's your wife and manager.
Yes.
And again, like you always say, everybody needs a Jamie, and you're like you got one. So what's it like having your son out here with you, and you get some good bonding time, or is it kind of crazy? Is he a teen, and it's kind of like there's a disconnect?
No, he's great, and he's really big supporter of the music. He's got a bunch of friends that enjoy the music. The only downside is he's like me in a car. If he's not driving, he's narcoleptic, right?
Right.
We get about 15, 20 minutes into the trip, and then he's asleep. And so I have to sit there and talk to myself.
It's the worst. I've got a teenage daughter, too, and I was like, man, I love just going on road trips, and she's out like a light. But, in the last couple of years, we've been doing more trips to North Texas lately, and she's been, I don't know, I trained her up to where she hasn't been. Now I got to fight with her wearing her headphones or her own earbuds and trying to, and she does this thing that, and it's weird because I can't criticize her, and I'm getting too personal here, but I can't criticize her because I'm a radio guy and I'm capable of doing this, but she'll put one ear in and she'll say, I'm listening to my music here, but I'm also listening to you and your music with the other ear. And part of me wants to say BS. But being a radio guy, I know it's possible because we're always doing that stuff, just listening in queue and kind of paying attention halfway here and half there and managing to make it all work. So I guess chip off the old block, so I can't criticize.
Well, I can't fault him for napping in the car, though, because he does everything. He's up and down. He plays football, does track. He does everything. And
I saw him bringing in the gear earlier. I was like, "Oh, Dad, put you to work, bro."
That's his choice. He
awesome.
He wants to carry the guitars. I used to make him carry like the merch and the bags and stuff like that, things that I know he couldn't break. And then he always wants to carry the guitars. So I'm like, all right.
Is he playing any instruments?
Yeah, he's a percussionist.
That's nice.
Yeah, he's a percussionist, and he's doing pretty good with that too. So yeah, I'm real proud of him. He's a good kid. I got no complaints. He may have a bunch of complaints, but yeah,
they always do. There's something wrong if they don't. All right, so again, we got Chuck Wimer here performing live at Friday Night Live. It's here at Broadway 30, 100 East Main Street, downtown Uvalde. If you're Uvalde local, you know where it is. Come on down here and see some live music between 7 and 10. Chuck always puts on a great show, a mix of his great original stuff and a few covers that keep your toe tapping and maybe even get you dancing on the patio here. But we've been talking about Dive Bar. Let's go and get it on.
Sure.
And we'll talk a little bit more out of it, more out of the song. But check it out. This is Chuck Wimer's latest single. It is called Dive Bar, and this is UvaldeRadio.net on Friday Night Live.
Boys are out here running down another Friday night, taking cover underneath these smoky neon lights. Tracy's back behind the bar, better get your drinks and go, 'cause the dance floor's filling fast and you don't wanna miss the show. A high-class rooftop joint downtown just ain't the place for me. A corner bar with red dirt songs is where I wanna be. And I see familiar faces every time I come around. It's when the boys all come on out, yeah, you know they're about to get loud. Stomping on that kick drum, it gets the hearts in rhythm. Diamonds from that sixth string, wish I was up there with them. Sliding down the bass and steel guitar, out here at our dive bar. Old place starts to sing out loud to old Hank Williams songs. Happens all the time, 'cause that bartender pours them strong. Cheating hard in any key won't do nobody wrong. Jambalaya just came on, yeah, you know it won't take long. Till the ladies come to burn off steam and dance with all their friends. Fireball shots and shiner box till the lights come on again. Boots and heels and laughter sure do make a pretty sound. When they hit that hardwood floor, yeah, you know they're about to get down. Drum, it gets the hearts in rhythm. Diamonds from that sixth string, wish I was up there with them. Sliding down the bass and steel guitar, out here at our dive bar. Seem like much, but it's my favorite place to be. That redneck bathroom art's a sight to see. Stomping on that kick drum, it gets the hearts in rhythm. Diamonds from that sixth string, wish I was up there with them. Sliding down the bass and steel guitar. We keep stomping on that kick drum, it gets the hearts in rhythm. Diamonds from that sixth string, wish I was up there with them. Sliding down the bass and steel guitar. Where we all belong is where we are, out here at our dive bar. At our dive bar. Oh, I love this bar.
UvaldeRadio.net, Friday Night Live. We are at Broadway 830 at 100 East Main Street, downtown Uvalde. Live music every Friday night featuring the rising stars of Texas music. That's the latest single by Chuck Wimer. It's called Dive Bar. And we got Chuck Wimer here with us on the patio. What's up, Chuck?
Oh, you know, I'm living it, the dream.
Living. Man, so let's get caught up. I mean, first of all, any other notes on Die Bar, the new single, as it's climbing up and starting doing real well?
What you hear on the recorded version is kind of a scaled down version of what you're going to hear at the shows. Like we really try and take it up a notch at the shows. I mean,
nice.
You can't just sit there and just bang. You just smash that kick drum for radio, because then you know, start blowing speakers, people start getting upset, and so yeah, we like to really bump that up. And it's also, that's the same song we use whenever we open for somebody. We got to open for Scotty Alexander a couple months ago, 2 months ago, I don't know. But there's a spot when it says, "When the boys all come on out," and you know, we switch that around to whoever we're opening for. You know, when Scotty comes out, it's about to get loud. And but it's a fun song to play live, because we even got that line about Tracy's back behind the bar. We changed it to whoever our bartender is that night.
That's fantastic.
So whoever's behind the bar, we want to shout them out in the song, and so yeah. And don't think you only need to hear it on the radio. Come out to a show.
And those are great kind of songs, like you know, there's like stadium like rock anthems, and then there's like club like small venue like anthems that you can sing too. That kind of get the little crowd in front of you right here just pumped up, you know, and it's a great song. I mean, and it translates to radio just as well. It just kind of puts you back in that dive bar, man.
Yeah, and it kind of tells the story of where we're at right now too, because dance halls don't want us, because we don't just play cover music, you know. Yeah. A lot of these dance halls, they want 90% covers, and you can sneak in an original here and there, and that's not the kind of band we are. We'll play cover songs, but you know, we get a lot of original songs that are being pushed right now, so we're going to play a bunch of those too. So I think
that's what you're there for. That's what you're doing. Yeah,
we do about 35% is original right now.
It's interesting when I talk to a lot of newer acts and seeing them. There's a point where an artist will make that transition from kind of being okay with doing either nothing but covers or mostly covers, and then they kind of go, okay, either it's kind of a step, or they get the confidence, or they feel like they paid the dues, but they go, okay, you know what? No, we've done this. We're ready to do whether it's just 30% or 50% or 70%. You know, at some point, you know, you're Randy Rogers and Aaron Watson, where you're not doing really any covers unless you're just doing it because, you know, you're doing Hank, or you know what I mean, George,
just something that you like to play,
something that's just more of a tribute than a necessity for your audience. But and that's what I love about artists like yourselves. And one day you're going to be that guy where it's like no one's gonna expect to see, you know, your name's gonna precede you enough, to where you ain't gonna have to throw any John Party or Midland in there at all.
Your lips to God's ears, man.
So that's fantastic, man. And you know what? Hey, we like a good cover, and you're going to hear, you know, Chuck's going to do a few cover songs for those of you who are just going to kind of casually watching. But for those of us who know the catalog, it's always exciting to see you do the original stuff. So, I know that you've been putting out monthly new tracks, right?
Yeah, on the 10th of every month, we've been putting out a new song, and we've been getting good feedback on all the stuff we've been putting out. And I think people they're going to be a little bit surprised by what comes out at the end, because we got some bangers that are about to come out.
Okay, so can we talk about the October release?
We can talk about any of the songs that are here. We're done. They're all done.
Chuck was kind enough to give me a little kind of off-the-air preview of the October release. And go ahead and tell us. We've talked about it briefly on the air before. Yeah. But it's all done now, pretty much, right? So it's ready to go?
You had me and Jamie come out to Sam's Burger Joint in San Antonio to go see Bree Bagwell, who is amazing. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, she's probably the queen of Texas country right now. There's no question. And Jerry Ray Reddick was up there as well. And I don't know if you knew, but when I was in the Army back in the 90s, I was a huge Bowling for Soup fan.
Well, you told me, right? Once we were talking about it,
I don't think I ever let you know just how deep it was,
That's
right?
fantastic.
So, like, I can sing most of their stuff just off the top of my head, right? And I introduced, funny story, to one of the girls I work with at the day job to Bowling for Soup. She was a punk rock fan too, but she had never heard of them. She knew Blank, she knew Sum 41, you know, Dropkick Murphys, all that. But so I can barely hear her phone as she's listening to it because we're outdoors and cars are going by and everything. And I start hearing the song and I'm like, singing along to it, and she's like, "Oh, you do know this band?" So yeah. Can you hold off on the fan, sir? Just until we get done with the program here. Sorry. Yeah, sorry guys. I'm sitting here. I'm doing. I'll turn it back on.
Gotta get really loud.
So you had me go up there, and I got to be honest, I was tired that day. I almost didn't go, and I was like, we're not gonna stand up, Robert. And that was Jamie. She's like, you're not gonna stand him up. We're going. And I was like, yeah, we're going. And she's like, this is one of your heroes. I'm like, yeah, it is. I got to go see. Okay. So somehow I didn't put my foot in my mouth. I didn't fanboy out.
No, yeah.
And I think he thought I was bigger than I am because I was with you. So
oh, you're too kind. That's crazy.
I don't know, but he's the most humble guy you ever met in your life, and we got to talking on social media, Facebook and Instagram, and he's like, dude, we're all over the place. Here's my number, just text me. And I was like, the stalker in me almost came out. Yeah. I was like, yeah, you don't know what kind of mistake that was. But he controls his.
Chuck's over. Hey, Jared. Hey, remember that one time? Hey, remember when you did that? Hey, remember that song? Hey, remember when you wrote that song? Yeah. Hey, Jared, remember when we made that video?
But we got to talking, and I said, hey, I'm seeing all this stuff on TikTok. Everybody's, basically redoing 1985. Has anybody ever done a country version? He's like, nah, man, you should do it. I said, oh, okay. Well, I'll look at it. And he came up with a line that's in it, and we'll hold that off until the end. But it's the line that he's going to sing on the song, right? Because when it gets released, he's featuring on there. And my producer was like, thank God he did it, because he didn't want my name attached to that particular statement, which you know what I'm talking about. Yep. So there you go, building up a little teaser there. But he's like, what do you think, a whole rewrite or just changing the chorus and the bridge? And I said, I don't know, let me look at it for a minute. And I rewrote the whole thing. Yeah. But I put in enough stuff that was from the original that if anybody's like, what is this? That's what that is.
And that's what you need. It has to have a good reference to the original, but just you turn it into a country reference.
Yeah. And it's cool. So I rewrote the chorus and turned that into a completely country version. I had to do research on that song. Yeah. Because I had to make sure everything lined up before 1985.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you did that, because me being a big music fan, I would have had your A on that. I'd be like, dude, that album didn't come out until 1988, bro. I would have been that guy. If you're going to wear a Poison shirt, you're going to need to know 3 songs. I'm that guy. Tell me which favorite record is. Tell me now. So I'm glad you did that. That's good.
Yeah, and one of the things people they try and catch me on it is CMT. They're like, CMT wasn't around. Yes, it was.
Oh, yeah, it was.
It was out 1 year before that.
It's hilarious.
So but that's going to be coming out in October, and we're not going to do that one to radio. We're just gonna let that.
Well, radio's going to find it anyway. So we're going to play it.
That's what I've been hearing. There's a number of people that are just like, when that goes out.
Well, how can we not? Jarrett's officially a country singer now, and we play you, so it would be crazy not to, right? So, fantastic. So, again, that's going to be the Chuck Wimer kind of retooled country version of Bowling for Soup's 1985. Man.
Yep.
Fantastic. That'll be released on October the 10th.
October 10th. It's gonna drop to streaming. Yeah,
that's crazy, man. It's gonna be fantastic.
Apple, Pandora, wherever you like it.
And so, what else is in the plans? I know we've talked about the songs, they're all sounding good. What else is, I guess, in the future? I know that you got the day off tomorrow, and you're going to go see Randy and Wade, right?
Yeah, we're going to. Yeah, I'm actually taking the kids. So
that's awesome.
My daughter, she's working at USAA now. So we talked about that last time, I think, where she got the adult job. So she's slowly coming around to Texas country, and I asked her, I was like, hey, do you want to go see Randy and Wade? She's like, I got to see if I'm what I got going on. And then when I brought it up to Jamie, and Jamie was like, are you going to take Matthew? And I was like, yeah, I am. I'm going to take Matthew. Well, I just told him yesterday. He didn't realize, and I said, hey, we're going to go see Randy Rogers tomorrow, or on Saturday. He's like, Randy Rogers? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I said, what, you know Randy Rogers? He's like, yeah, I love Randy Rogers. I was like, oh, fantastic. That's
Isn't it always great when they surprise you and they're actually excited about something you're otherwise going to force them to go to?
Yeah, well, it reminds me of the last single that we did, One More Day, right? When you look back and you realize you raised him right.
That's awesome. Let's go and do that song right now. We want to play some music, man. We got Chuck Wimer here. This is a big hit for you, so let's just check it out. Yeah, you're going to play this one live?
Say what?
You play this one live still?
Oh,
one
yeah.
More day, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So you'll hear a live version of it tonight on the patio here at Broadway 830. This is Chuck Wimer with One More Day, and this is Friday Night Live on UvaldeRadio.net.
That older road, driving way too fast, kicking up that dust on my way back home. Wish those times could last. I miss coming home when the day was done, Mama in the kitchen cooking dinner. Can I bring someone? Sitting on the back porch watching the sun go down. Back before city living in my hometown. And times are changing way too fast. I keep on living, watching my life blow past. Raising a family and then I'm on my knees to pray. Thank God for giving me one more day. I've got a loving wife and 3 great kids. Not a worry in the world to trouble my mind with. I got a steady job and I got my help. Still talk to Mom and Daddy. I'm glad they're doing well. Ain't nothing like looking back to remind me how I've changed. Standing in the here and now, I can see how much I've gained. And times are changing way too fast. I keep on living, watching my life blow past. Raising a family and then I'm on my knees to pray. I thank God for giving me one more day. I can't go back and fix the mistakes I've made, though sometimes I wish I could. All I know is that I wouldn't trade a single day and take a chance on missing a life this good. And times are changing, I've lit off that gas. I've done my living, I've learned from my past. I've raised my family and I taught them how to pray. Thank God for giving them one more day. Oh, thank God for giving them one more day. I thank God for one more day.
UvaldeRadio.net. This is Friday Night Live. We got Chuck Wimer, our featured artist and guest tonight here at Broadway 830, performing from 7 to 10 p.m. Right now, just doing the live interview with Chuck. Chuck, give us that website and all the socials just for those who might have just tuned in.
It's chuckwimermusic.com, and then, of course, it's Chuck Wimer Music on the social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that. And then if you're looking for it on streaming, then to catch all those new releases, it's just Chuck Wimer. It's not, we dropped the music for that one.
Chuck, well, you dropping music every month. That's right. So Chuck Wimer is here performing in Uvalde again. Pretty much been here every 3 to 4 months. Pretty solid, regular, right?
Yeah, no, and that's
a mainstay, man.
That fits where we're at as far as whenever we go play somewhere. We try to make it about quarterly. We don't want to overdo a spot, but
it's good. I love it. It gives you a nice little rotation, and you can build a fan base that way in each place.
We need to find a place out here where we can bring the band, though.
Yeah,
that's what we need to do.
We're going to talk about that tonight. During your breaks. You just heard Chuck Wimer's "One More Day." It's a great tune. We love it. Now we're going to segue into Whiskey, Texas, and You. another one of our favorites here. But let's talk about your Whiskey Wednesday, your podcast, because I know you have a cool thing going on. And let's go ahead, while we're on it, talk about your guest appearance on Jarrett Ray Reddick's Rockstar Dad's show.
Yeah,
how are these things going?
Again, that was one of those things that, thanks to your introduction, he reached out to me right away, and he's like, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? It's the Rockstar Dad Show. And I was like, yeah, I'm not really a rock star, but, at least in my mind, I still see myself, I'm just that guy. I'm just a guy who likes to stand up there and sing my songs.
But you're a good dad, you're a cool dad, which means you're a rock star dad, and that's just kind of like a thing.
And that's, I love the concept behind this program. I feel like I didn't do enough of the dad talk on the show, though. As I went and I looked back at it, I was like, man, we talked about everything but my kids.
But, as the anchor, that's his fault.
Well, no, he kept directing us there, and I just kept going.
Well, then it's on you then.
Yeah, it was definitely on me. But, no, we got to talk about my kids a little bit, and like I said, man, he's the most humble guy you've ever met in your life. For somebody who's played stadiums to be that welcoming to anybody,
sure. Absolutely.
He's just a really great guy, and his program's fun. If you haven't listened to it,
and like you said, you're a fan too. So you got to have and now you're cutting music with the guy. So that's got to feel, you got to be elated by it.
It was really cool. I was hoping we'd actually get into the studio together, but it wasn't going to happen. He lives up by Prosper, and I'm down here by San Antonio, so that wasn't going to work out.
Hey, technology, it's all good.
But
that track is you guys together. It's good.
It was really cool to have him on there. So. We're excited about that, and that'll be in October. But definitely go check out his program too if you're listening. Go Rockstar Dad Show. He's got some great guests that have been on there.
I haven't even been on that show. What the heck? I need to get on that show. So let's talk about your Whiskey Wednesday. You basically get together with guests and sip whiskey and talk music and whatever else, right?
Yeah. So if I'm lucky enough to have the person in studio, then we record it live. It goes out on Facebook. Goes out on Facebook, YouTube, and either Twitch or Twitter, depending on where our guest audience is. And then, we pull that off after a few days, if I remember to pull it off of those video sites. And then we just put it up on the streaming site so that the audio is available. Because it ends up splitting all the interactions and all that stuff. So. And in order to get Spotify to start paying the bills again, I need to raise some listeners on that again. So,
no, that's smart. That's good.
Yeah, it's the Whiskey Texas and You podcast. So we wanted to keep on marketing that song, and we just decided, you know what, we'll bring the whiskey, you bring the you, and we'll have our guests come in and we talk, and now we can do it remotely too, because that was one of the things that we were getting. Was I had folks up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and they're like, I'd love to be on it, but I'm not going to be down there until this day, and I'm only going to be there for 15 minutes, and then I got the show that I got to play, and then we're back on the road again, and it's like, all right, we need to figure out a way to make this work for when they're back home.
Once again, technology, man, it's there for you, so that's good stuff. Now, as far as the whiskey goes, do you guys try new whiskey every week, or what's the whiskey time?
Yeah, anytime I have somebody who's in studio, I do a whiskey that I haven't tried yet. Mm-hmm. So I've gone through some whiskeys now.
Now, Chuck, do you have a running list of your favorites?
I got a top 10. So Garrison Brothers right now is my number 1 and 2. I really love their small batch, and it doesn't matter which one. They just seem to put out a great small batch every time. And then their Honeydew. So their small batch is my number 1. Their Honeydew is my number 2. I think Slow River Blend, though, I think it's out of New Braunfels.
Okay.
And that's... I think that's moved into number 3. We had our mayor on, and it was me, Thomas, and the mayor, and we finished that bottle.
Woo! There you go.
So it was that good.
Any true politician needs to be able to throw down some whiskey.
That was back when we had a guest room at the house. Now we have 2 offices and no guest room because Jamie needed an office too. But he ended up having to stay over because we didn't want him getting pulled over by his police department.
Yes, wow. Some problems there, man. Well, so give us a couple more out of the top 10.
So Rebecca Creek still comes in there, probably about 7 or 8, I think it is.
Okay.
And then what did we just have the other day? TX. So TX has
TX
a straight bourbon, and they also have a blended whiskey. And both of them are good. They both have kind of almost what it tastes like a hint of vanilla. It's not really a vanilla flavor to it, but it kind of tastes like it has that to it, and it's really good. So yeah, that's 5. 5 whiskeys in there.
So do they tend to
6.
be?
Yeah.
Are they all specifically Texas whiskeys, or do you have? They come from all
I
over the
have
place?
not found a Kentucky whiskey that matches what I've been getting out of the Texas whiskeys.
So what's the main difference between Kentucky and Texas?
I honestly, I don't know. I just know that it's more of an alcohol, almost a cleaning solution kind of taste out of the Kentuckys.
Okay.
Anything that we're getting out of the Kentucky, maybe I'm just not finding the right ones. Hey, send me a message on we got the Facebook page for Whiskey Texas News. Say, hey, I need to go try this one or whatever. But
yeah, we're not trying to diss on Kentucky or
no,
anything.
nothing wrong. Most of them end up falling into the. I break them down. Either they're a sipping whiskey, a shooting whiskey, or a mixing whiskey. Right? Your Jack Daniels is going to be a mixing whiskey. You can do shots with it, but that's pretty much as high as it's going to go. I don't know why everybody wants to mix Crown or shoot Crown, or mix it for that matter. It's like. It's just not that good, and it's too expensive. Stick with Jack; it's cheaper.
I mean, I like Crown, but that's the first liquor I ever fell in love with. So, Crown is like mother's milk to me. You know what I mean? It's just like it's my first and only. It's like a McDonald's chicken nugget. Or McDonald's fries, you know what I'm saying? Like the memories go so far back that I could never taste a McDonald's fry and go, that sucks.
Fun story about Crown is I was coming back from Korea my second time I was out there, so I was actually old enough to drink on that one. And I went to the duty-free store. I bought a fifth of Crown Royale, and a Korean national that was there at the airport. He was coming back to do whatever, I don't know, visiting, doing business, whatever. But we were sitting there waiting for the flight, and we drank the whole fifth together.
Whew. Yeah.
And I wasn't a whiskey drinker at the time, but I was feeling good, man. I was like, all right, cool, and I got on the plane, and I slept the whole time. And the flight attendant woke me up about 4 hours in, and she said, what did you do to him? And I said, what are you talking about? She says, he's been not feeling well for the whole flight. And making a loud scene about it in the restroom, and I was like, I don't know, man. We drank some Crown Royale. I'm going back to bed.
So you obviously you've tried more whiskeys than me, but I will defend Crown in a sense, and I'll say this: I feel like Crown, the price point for what you're getting, I think is good. But we were talking about, sipping, mixing, and shooting. I feel like Crown's one of those that you can actually get away with all three. And I don't think a lot of whiskeys are that way, because I can't do shots of Jack. I can mix it, no problem. It's fine. But I can pleasantly. I can take Crown any which way you give it to me, and I'll be like, okay, that's cool. And it tastes like Crown. And I know what it is.
Oh, yeah. And there's no question that you're drinking it.
And I'm enjoying it. But I think you're right. A lot of whiskeys can't do that. And I think
the reason I wouldn't shoot or mix Crown is just because you're diluting the flavor with whatever it is you're mixing it with, right? So if you're doing Crown and Coke, basically you're just drinking whiskey and Coke, and it's got that chemical taste.
I feel like a Coke. I love Coke, and I like Crown, and I feel like it enhances the flavor of the Coke to me.
And I've heard it kind of gives almost a vanilla flavor to it sometimes.
But that's my palate, too. So, of course, everybody's different now. But interesting.
But if you're going to mix, my suggestion is mix with something that's not as expensive.
Sure. Right.
I mean, because you're just, I don't know. For me, people who are doing shots, they're trying to get drunk. Do it with a less expensive alcohol.
Yeah, but then you got the headache, the poor quality, right? I mean,
I don't think there's going to be much of a difference between Crown and Jack when it comes to your headache the next day.
Interesting, yeah. Okay.
I think it's going to come down to how much sugar you put into your body.
It's true,
and that's where I think the headache comes from, because I noticed all of the blended, like the blended flavor, right? So there's what the heck is that? I can't remember. It's like a blueberry or a blackberry mixed whiskey, or chocolate
Hard
whiskey
pass.
or whatever. You'd be surprised. People actually like them.
Sure.
But, whenever I drink those, I tend to get a headache because there's a lot of sugar that's going in, and it's.
Oh no! One time I drank way too much like dessert wine, and it was like, wow, what am I doing to myself? It's crazy.
Like Boone's Farm. Boone's Farm's going to give you a headache the next day.
Absolutely, but boy, it's easy on the pocketbook, wasn't it? Back in the day,
we used to have Boone's Farm Wednesdays in Korea.
Well, and when I was young, it was fine because my body was much more resilient. So it's like, okay, so I got a headache the next day. Whatever, man. I'm like 19, 20 years old. What the heck, right?
Just get an IV and you're good to go.
Nothing wrong with it. A little Gatorade in the morning, boom, all good. But there's our little whiskey talk with Chuck Wimer, who knows his stuff. It's good. So I'm going to have to take notes a little bit later and get a list from you, and I'm going to have to try some out because I tend to like by the standards. My go-to is usually Crown, just because if I'm in a hurry. But lately, I've been really supporting the Texas whiskey. So right now, it's Rebecca Creek's usually the number one, that I go to. But I want to expand. TX I like a lot too.
60 Men, I think, is another one. I think that's what that one's called. 60 Men's got a Texas flag on it. It's pretty decent, and it's not overly pricey.
If we ever do an episode together, me and you, we need to do like 3 or 4 different bottles and just be like testing like various artists.
We're gonna have to do it when you come to San Antonio. Then
we'll make it happen. All right, so again, Chuck Wimer here for Broadway 830's Friday Night Live. We do it every Friday night with the rising stars of Texas music. Chuck's a good friend of ours too, and he should be yours by now too. If you listen to UvaldeRadio.net, you know his music, so you're gonna know more than a handful of songs that he plays tonight. This one's called Whiskey, Texas, and You. It's Chuck Wimer on UvaldeRadio.net.
Have a whole lot to my name, and I guess this life I lead leaves me to blame. But for all my faults, I know this much is true. All I need is whiskey, Texas, and you. Never try to make me what I'm not. You tell me you don't care about what I got. It don't matter if the car I drive is new. All I need is whiskey, Texas, and you. And I can sit out on the porch and stare up at the sky. Get out on that open road and drive 500 miles. It don't matter where we go. It don't matter what we do. All I need is whiskey, Texas, and you. I love to hear my name roll off your lips. Taste that Becca Creek after a sip. You got me hooked on everything you do. All I need is whiskey, Texas, and you. I can sit out on the porch and stare up at the sky. Get out on that open road and drive 500 miles. It don't matter where we go. It don't matter what we do. All I need is whiskey, Texas, and you. It don't matter where we go. It don't matter what we do. All I need is whiskey, Texas, and you. All I need is whiskey, Texas, and you.
UvaldeRadio.net. This is Friday Night Live. We are live at Broadway 830 at 100 East Main Street. Beautiful downtown Uvalde. Nothing else going on tonight, guys. There's not a Uvalde Coyotes football game. There's not a Foursquare Friday. We don't have party on the plaza. Nothing going on except you and your need to decompress after our first week of school. So if you're a teacher, you're a student, you're a parent, you've been running around all these campuses dropping off different kids, you need a nice meal and maybe a glass of whiskey, right?
There you go.
And you got Chuck Wimer music here, so this is the place to be tonight from 7 to 10 p.m. Live music on the patio with our buddy Chuck Wimer. You just heard Whiskey, Texas, and You. And now I got to get on your podcast, and I'm going to put more whiskey into it. We're going to have to talk more whiskey and then Texas and You. We'll talk whiskey and Texas.
There you go.
Well, not so much me. But it's good to have you in town, Chuck. I'm sorry Jamie's on here, but I'm interested to see how the boys will play, while Mom's away.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what else is on the horizon for you as far as plans. I know summer's over, so hopefully it'll be an end to some really hot outdoor shows and maybe getting indoors to some nice cooler venues. What's on tap?
Well, hopefully the weather turns a little bit before September. That'd be ideal for me, because we're going to be going out to the station on 290 out in Harper, Texas, and we're going to have the band open up for Bernie Nelson and Deanna Wheeler.
Cool.
Which is going to be fantastic. She's a sweetheart.
She is.
Bernie is just an amazing songwriter. I don't know if Bernie's playing with his band or if he's just doing a solo acoustic thing, or how that's going to work out. But I know that that the guys are excited about that one. And then we're going to be heading out to Odessa, Midland area. I think it's in Midland. I'm not sure. I don't think it's in Odessa, but we're going to be opening up for Wade Hayes out there.
Cool.
And that's going to be a good time. I think that one's in October. I know we're also going out to Oklahoma in October. So we're
in the road, man. It's good.
Yeah, we're going to get a lot of windshield time, and we're going to be able to just, I don't know, hopefully we don't run out of gas again. That'd be
Now, I know you've been really good about doing like the radio support for the single. Mm-hmm. Are you still out there, visiting the radio stations, or are you just bringing that back a little bit this time around?
No, we've tried to get out there to a bunch of stations in the beginning, and there just wasn't a whole lot of availability to get into some of the places that we wanted to. So we got out to Mason, we got out to KNES, we got to see those folks.
It has been busy, man. I mean, it's summer and it's been hot and it's been crazy.
And
you don't want to be on that road anyway.
We're always on the road. There's just a lot that's been going on, and unfortunately, there's a number of people that have been losing folks, and and it just seems to be hitting all the radio stations all at the same time.
There's been a lot of bad news in radio. It's weird. I feel bad, but it's true.
And Jamie's trying to do a better job this time of lining it up to when we're actually in an area that we go see the folks that are in that area. Because last year we put probably an extra 5,000 miles on the car we were going out to go see radio stations, and that was I mean, that's the fun of it. We want to go out there, we want to go talk to people. The whole reason I do this is just because I like to meet people. Otherwise, I'd just be sitting at home writing songs and just throwing them out to whoever wants to go sing them. That was my original goal. I had no intention of standing on stages. That wasn't my thought process. My thought process was, I just want to be a writer. And then Jamie's like, you might want to go try it out and see what happens, and you might resent it later.
And you've come a long way, man. It's been really cool watching, the growth, in your journey, and not only you, but Jamie too, as a professional in this business too, helping navigate your career, and also doing her stuff on her management and promotional end as well too. So I'm super stoked to know you and to be able to watch what you guys are doing. I mean,
you're amazing. We love all the support we get from you guys.
Well, it's like what we were just talking about, though. I mean, now you're cutting records with the freaking, Grammy-nominated artist. So it's like that's
with a Grammy award-winning produer.
It's insane, right? Yeah,
it's so wild.
That's a long way from guy who doesn't really want to get on a stage.
Yeah, it's true.
So congratulations, man. It's good stuff.
Thank you.
I guess give me any other. Let's just review. Let's talk about the band. We haven't given them any love yet. Tell me who's in the band one more time, and give us the quick on them.
My lead guitar player, I got Thomas Jones. He's formerly a jazz player out of Nashville, and he was from Pennsylvania, but then Nashville, and then now he's down here with me. He does his own thing. He's got his own solo stuff going as well, so real thankful that he's a part of it with us. We got Randy Garcia. He's a bass player. He's also a nurse, and he's also an Army veteran. And I also have Scott Rosen, my drummer. And he's an Air Force veteran, and he used to play with Creed Fisher and a few other groups out there, and he almost gave up drumming. He was just like, I'm not going to play drums, I'm just going to record bass for U-version or whatever it was he was doing. And then we knew each other from back when we trained dogs together over at Lackland. And he saw that I was looking for a drummer.
Wait, you were a dog? I did not know that was part of your story, too. You were a dog trainer.
Yeah, 13 years. I was 13 years I handled dogs. 3 years I trained them for Department of Defense over at Lackland Air Force Base. And then another year after that as a civilian.
How does one acquire that skill?
I lucked out. So I was in Korea. My very first duty station was Korea, so I'm a nobody.
Don't they eat dogs in Korea?
Yes. It's actually a delicacy too. It's not. It's very expensive.
So you're training these dogs how to survive. Survival skills.
Yeah, it's. They actually have. These dogs are in Korea. The ones that are eaten are bred to be eaten.
Sure.
Just like we have cattle.
It's like Wagyu
dog.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, so I'm out there in my first duty station. I'm on base, and there's this big fight at the NCO club out there, which is right next to the military police barracks, and I'm on duty that night, and they say, hey, everybody just stand down. We're just going to wait outside, and there's a brawl inside this place, and all the military police get pulled out. And then K9 shows up, and he goes in, and he had this dog that he could tell to bark on command, which is it's not a hard trick to teach, but he goes in and gets up by the microphone where the DJ's at, and he tells his dog, all right, talk crap, and the dog just starts roar, 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 and everybody walked out single file, and I said, that's what I want to do.
Wow.
So when I actually left Korea, and Korea, the losing duty station, which is unheard of, they paid for my training. So there's a certain amount of money that gets spread around. I mean, it seems like it would the Army has all its money, and but anyway, all these units have their own amount of money that they're responsible for, and they paid for me to go to K9 school, and then I did it from '97 to 2009. And it was a good time, and I finally got to Lackland Air Force Base. Some of the leadership up who decided where people move around to. They were like, "Well, we've seen what you've done. You had a great tour in Iraq, and you were finding stuff, and you were training dogs, and you were teaching them things that they didn't know. So we're gonna give you what you wanted. We're gonna send you over to Lackland, and you're gonna go train dogs." And then I got to Lackland, and I realized I didn't know anything. Which is kind of funny for any dog handlers out there that think that Lackland's always sending you busted dogs. They're not. You just didn't read the records, because they're trained a certain way, and these dogs, they don't get out of school unless they know how to do the job. So
interesting.
So train them to bite, to find things, and it was just a good time.
You learned something new every day. That's one part of your story I did not know, and I thought I knew pretty much all of it as much as we've talked. So good stuff. And as always, Chuck Wimer, thank you for your service, man.
It's my pleasure.
Apparently all the band, too. So so thank you for what you guys have done and continue to do, and keep on cranking out that great music. We're going to wrap it up. We got to get you here live on the patio. So
absolutely.
Again, Chuck Wimer is performing tonight from 7 to 10, which is just moments away here on the Friday Night Live. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up with a song, and we're going to do Dancing in the Rain. Haven't done that one in a while. So
fun story about that one. That's the only song that I didn't write that we've released outside of the Christmas tune that we covered. But yeah, my dad wrote that one. That's the only song that we've released that I don't have a hand in writing.
All right, so send this out to Chuck Sr. over there. So we're going to wrap it up here with Friday Night Live with Chuck Wimer. Y'all come out and join us here on the patio. A delicious artisan pizza, cold beers. They got really wacky drink specials that are a lot of fun, and just great food and great music. So Chuck Wimer, Dancing in the Rain, wrapping up Friday Night Live. This is UvaldeRadio.net. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
You think I'm crazy, might even be insane, just because you caught me dancing in the rain. We were dancing in the rain, laughing at the night. The two of us together must have really been a sight. Dancing in the rain like we didn't have a care. Just felt so right having you there. Girl, you look so pretty in your fancy evening gown, all dressed up and ready for a night out on the town. We made it to the front porch, shut the door and turned around. That's when it started. The rain came pouring down, and we were dancing in the rain, laughing at the night. The two of us together must have really been a sight. Dancing in the rain like we didn't have a care. Just felt so right having you there. Don't know what possessed me, but I took you by the hand, led you in the pouring rain. Wasn't something that I planned. It might have been the moment or the look the night. Two of us together must have really been a sign. Dancing in the rain like we didn't have a care. Just felt so right having you there. We were dancing in the rain, dancing in the rain.